So a few years ago when I moved here, we started fishing together, and I like thought, man, this guy's telling me to get out of the flats boat. I got a brand new flats boat. You're telling me to get out and catch fish, and I kind of thought you were a little nuts for a while there, but
you know, we're pretty fortunate to have good wading bottom. You know, we got a lot of good solid sand. There's a lot of grass, and we've got a lot of really shallow water areas. And this, as you can see right here, this is kind of like a popular hangout spot on the weekends. A lot of people like to come out here with their big boats, and they'll just hang out and have a good time. And these fish, they know what the sound of a boat is. You know, they get run over all day long. So the best way for us to target them here is we just like to kind of park our boat about 100 yards down the beach from where we want to fish at, and we'll get out of the boat and we'll just kind of slowly go for a walk, ease down a little ways. And the benefit to that is you can move around the flat really quiet. You don't have to use your trolling motor. You don't have to put down any anchors to hold position, so you can get right in position to make good casts, you know, into the current, and, you know, hit certain spots on the flat where these fish are going to be positioning at. And a lot of times you'll get up here, one of these fish gets hooked, especially with these big trout when they get together like they are right now. You'll have one fish come to you, and you look around on the ground and you might see 4 or 5 fish that are doing circles around you that you actually have a legitimate shot at catching. Right. If they come up to you on a boat like that, you know, those fish get within 20 feet of the boat and they're going to go ahead and turn around. You'll probably never see them in the first place.
no, like I said, I'm a believer now. At first I was like, man, you know, got to push pole, we got this boat. I do see how it sets up better. What makes a good flat, you know, what makes a good poling flat versus a wading flat? Because there is a difference.
Yeah, I like, whenever I'm in a wade, I like an area that's going to have a lot of water moving across it. You can see right here, we're on a little point flat. This flat probably goes out 100 yards, but it has a lot of water that moves across it. When you get on these little sections where it kind of horseshoes in, you'll get areas where it doesn't really have a lot of current. Right. And you'll still find fish up there, but they'll generally be up there kind of cruising along the beach. So those types of flats that it's easy to push the boat around and keep in position, those are the types of flats that we'll do sight fishing on and things like that. But this is mostly grass here. It'd be hard to see the fish from above anyway, so this type of flat is perfectly set up for wade fishing. It's about waist deep, you know, a good ways. It's got good deep water on both sides that falls off the ledge, so regardless whether the tide's coming in or coming out, you know, these fish can set up current in it in the deep water. And then the bait will get pushed up onto the flat, and they'll just move up, grab what they want, and go right back down into these little ledges. So
we get a lot of emails also at Bay County Outdoors asking, they see the pictures of people catching fish, wade fishing. Everybody asks, sharks, alligators, you know, they're all worried about predators. What are the predators out here? I know we've run into a couple.
Yeah, you know, sharks are going to be everywhere, but for the most part, few and far between are you going to see a shark that's big enough, one, to mess with you up here, and number two is the type that's really aggressive enough to mess with you. And once we get away from the past sun back here in the bay, I've never really had any problems with sharks.
Right.
If you get way off the beaten path back in those bayous and stuff like that where the water doesn't move as much and it's got a little more fresh water in it, you may see alligator every now and then, but I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years
it's
around
really
here.
Not something to worry about.
Right. I've never had any close calls, and it's another thing, being aware of your surroundings. You know, you want to kind of walk gently and just keep an eye on everything that's going on, and as long as you give them a healthy dose of respect, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. Up, partner. It's a little lower slot fish. It's a little 1.5 pound, 2 pound slot fish. And that little rip and slash. This fish right here was sitting right over there on the down current side. Oh. Well, I guess he didn't want to hang out with us for too long, but he was hanging out over there around a school of glass minnows, and seen a couple of them jump out of the water, so made a quick cast over there with the rip and slash, and he jumped all over. So we can't repeat the process.
The Captain Anderson makes fishing a breeze. There's a galley on board, and your comfortable trip is all-inclusive. Rod, reel, tackle, bait, and your fishing license. The traditional all-day trip from 7 to 5 p.m. Come aboard the Captain Anderson for a relaxing day of bottom fishing. There's plenty of room, so bring the whole family. It's a whopping big adventure, and that's no fishtail. The Captain Anderson is located at Captain Anderson's Marina, where the fish are always biting and the kids are always smiling. Please call for cruise schedules.
Panama City living is simply better without glasses. The Eye Center of North Florida offers the most advanced surgeries, including lifestyle lens implants for cataract patients and custom view blade-free LASIK. Both procedures leave you with clear vision, and in most cases, glasses-free. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
Kind of going around the back of the island there, Nate. Whoa, he's way. Sure. So I had tied on our new DOA's 4-inch shad. You know, a lot of the shows, folks are always asking us for a little bigger version of our smaller shad tail, and that's what this lure is. Bigger profile, a little bigger tail. So it really gives a nice pulse when it goes through the water. No, Nathan saw just a little ripple where he was sitting, and I just threw it in front of him and kind of just swam it very slow. And that tail just sits there and pulses. It's a really cool bait. I've had a lot of fun with it so far since I've been fishing with it. And I have it on an owner twist lock hook with a little bit of a belly weight in it. Well, he's pretty. I'll show you the hook. It has a big gap in it, so when they eat it with this plastic 4-inch bait, you can still get a good hook set. That's an awesome color right there, that glow gold. That's it.
Good tournament fish, right?
Yeah, that's a good model. Well, here's the fish. Let's get him back in there. He's beautiful. There he is. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah,
That was a great eye seeing it.
see if we can get 1 or 2 more before we got to get out.
I know, I hear that thunder in the background. It's like, glad we caught him. I'm gonna set him back. He's a happy guy. I'll show you what I was using there. It's a 4-inch shad, 4-inch DOA shad. And if you're familiar with our shad we have now, it's much smaller, thinner body, and a smaller tail. This has bigger profile, and it really has a big tail that as you're working it, it just sits there and does a really nice wobble. The hook I have it on is a 6.0 owner twist lock style hook. So it twists into the nose of the bait. I like this because it's very easy and quick to rig. Has a great gap in it as well. So it screws right on. And all you need to do is kind of line it up and push it through. It'll lay in there. That belly weight is 3/32 of an ounce. So it's not real heavy, and it's perfect for in here because it's shallow, there's some grass around. It'll just allow that bait to kind of wobble back and forth and have a good keel. So it'll just kind of do a back and forth motion. One thing with this bait, with 3/32, if you go too fast with it, it'll actually start to spin in a circle. So you've got to, you know, it's kind of like working a spoon. You want the wobble, you don't want the spin. Nathan, he's seen something else. DOA 4-inch shad. So with this setup, with that twist lock hook, because it's only 3/32 of a belly weight on that hook, if you work it too fast, it's going to want to spin. So I always try to work it nice and slow and just let that bait wobble back and forth. And sometimes I'll add a little twitch, twitch, and pause if they're not responding to that steady retrieve. But if I'm going through an area like this and I can't see well, I'm not quite sure exactly where they are, I'll just slow roll this bait. And it's a great bait to cover some ground with. So I'll just make a good cast and just steady retrieve. And that tail's working for you the whole time. That tail's sending out good vibrations and it's thumping right along. Again, you know, if you get excited and try to go too fast with it, it won't work as well. It's just slow and steady. And then what I'll do here is when that fish thumps it, I'll kind of drop the tip towards him a little bit and then come in tight and really give him a good hook set because it is rigged weedless. So you got to make sure that hook punches through.
That should look awesome with the clouds in the background.
I was saying before, the beauty with that big gap on there is when he does eat it, the bait pushes down, and when it does, you know, that hook point really comes out and gets exposed. So the hookup ratios is actually very good for this bait, even when I rig it weedless. Oh, look at there. The ramp's there, isn't it?
The branch is back there, right now.
Maybe we'll get lucky, it'll go through. Slip behind it or something. There's daylight behind it.
When you only have one shot, one chance, there are only two names to remember: Browning and C&G Sporting Goods. C&G carries the full line of Browning rifles, shotguns, handguns, knives, and clothing. Like the Browning X-Boat, every component of the Browning X-Boat works together to deliver the most critical feature: total accuracy. Visit C&G Sporting Goods today because you don't want to miss that one shot.
About a year ago, the two jets that we have on this project were removed from static display.
One of them was living there right in front of, between City Hall and the Civic Center, Panama City Civic Center. And the second one, which was Rick Seltzer's jet, was out at Gulf Coast State College, formerly known as Gulf Coast Community College. They were actually able to recover a few pieces of the jet for a memorabilia for the family.
This side is 1/4 square mile, and we placed artificial reef modules around the perimeter of this particular site. The jets will be deployed in the very center of this particular site.
We've built over 35,000 artificial reefs. You'll have small bait fish in a matter of, I mean, today there'll be small fish on it, but to really produce a healthy reef, 6 months to a year, they'll have a really healthy, functioning reef for fishing.
The new home's going to be 3 miles due south of the county pier.
For everything you need on or off the water, visit the Panama City and St. Andrews Marinas. Both locations provide you with easy access boat slips, ramps, fuel, bait, and tackle. Come visit our ship stores and see our unique nautical gifts and clothing, or just relax with a cool drink and grab a snack while watching the boats come in.
Don't forget that Mariner on your shopping list. Come by and see our unique nautical gifts, cards, and clothing at the ship store at Panama City or St. Andrews Marina.
Panama City and St. Andrews Marinas, everything you remember and so much more.
A lot of what we've been doing since we got here has been focused around the ocean and the sea, and we both love that because we're both sort of water babies really, and love swimming and love going and doing sports and activities, and today was definitely on the top of Paul's list of what he wanted to try.
I absolutely loved it. I'd recommend it for anyone. It's such a good day out in the sun, so relaxed, so much fun. Don't get me wrong, hard work when you get that fish, and I was wrestling with it and sweating and swearing.
And hard work when you've got seasickness.
A lot of swearing and a lot of shouting at the sea, but I absolutely loved every minute of it, and I'd do it again tomorrow at the drop of a hat. The two that got away, I'd like to say it was the one that got away. The first one got away, and I was quite confused about handle that. The second one that got away, I was wrestling for about, I'd like to say 10 minutes, it was probably about 30 seconds. But a bull shark got hold of it and dragged it under a reef, and I was wrestling for...
But you didn't know that at the start? You didn't know it was a bull shark? You thought it was a really big fish?
I just thought I'd landed the fish of a lifetime, when actually, yeah, a shark had grabbed hold of it, was pulling away, tugging, and actually I had to get a bit of help to try and reel it in. After about 5 minutes, it became really easy, and I thought, I've nailed this, I'm bringing it in. And as I was bringing it in, got close to the surface, I thought, God, it looks a bit small. And it was actually just the head, and the rest of it had been eaten by a shark and dragged under. So that was pretty gutting. And
but a good story.
And yeah, it's a good one to take home. It's a good memory to take home, and one that I'm sure I'll embellish over time. And by the time I'm done, I'm sure a massive great white shark will have taken my dinner away from me.
And then the one snapper that you did get,
the one that I landed is good. We're having for dinner, so at least I brought us home some food.
Here he is. Woohoo! Ah, amazing.
Wait, boy.
He's a beast. He was a monster, bringing him in. Ah! He's a lively fella as well. What should we call him? Robert? He looked like a Robert to me.
What?
Bob the snapper, Rob the red snapper. He's cut me. I didn't win. I didn't come unscathed.
I've got cramp in my hand.
Come on, Jen, bring him in.
I got some. Good. Good. Get him. Young snapper. Got one?
Yes.
All right.
Woo! Mine's a baby one, it's a girl one.
It might stretch.
That's alright, you eat less than me. What are you calling him?
It's a girl, definitely.
He needs a girl.
Really?
Say goodbye, give him a kiss and say goodbye.
No, I'm not kissing it.
Let me get a picture of you kissing him. Lovely. What a lovely moment.
So if they're hooked and then we let them go, they can heal perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was great fun, and I absolutely loved it. And now I feel like I'm pretty much a professional fisherman.
Took away some skills that he hadn't got before.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely loved it. I'd recommend it for anyone.
As we went out, you could see on Shell Island on either side the different colours and how beautiful and translucent. No litter. Everybody just seems so in love with the area that they live in. The guys on the fishing boat today, all they wanted to do was make sure that we had this fish gutted and ready for our dinner. And
have fun, and everything's just, I mean, I've never been anywhere friendly.
We feel very lucky to have had the opportunity to be here, and yeah, we'd recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, bloody fish. One day I will go back and get that fish, or the shark. There we go.
Sunjammers and Hobie Mirage kayaks set the standard for on-the-water fun. Whether your passion is fishing, sailing, or recreational adventures, Hobie has a kayak for you. Hobie's Mirage Drive mimics nature's proven designs for effective, powerful propulsion to enhance your kayaking experience. Mirage Power, Mirage Performance, Mirage Drive. Hobie, enjoy the ride. Hobie kayaks are available at Sunjammers Water Sports in Panama City Beach.
Hey, I'm Justin Leet with Panama City Inshore, and I'm in my favorite tackle store here, Howell Tackle. few lures that I always have on hand. I would say my top three. One that I would always have would be a topwater plug, like this mirror lure. This is a Top Dog Junior. I like simple colors, like a silver with a green back, looks like a pilchard or a mullet. Great to have on the flats. Another very versatile lure is going to be the DOA Airhead. We use these for everything from tarpon fishing to redfish on the flats. Very versatile. You can fish it mid-water column in 2 to 3 foot, or you can work them right on the surface. It's a very versatile bait. The third lure that I always have on hand would be a pompano jig. I keep handfuls of these on the boat at all times. Obviously we use them pompano fishing on the beach, but we also use them when you see schools of bonitas busting on the surface or jacks busting on the surface. Everything will eat a pompano jig at some point. Very versatile, good to keep on the boat. Pompano bite has been really good. It's a little harder to fish them when it's blowing and cloudy, but the sun finally came out for a minute, and that's what we got up here. Lots of pompanos on the beach right now.
And the great thing about pompanos here, you can catch them on the boat, you can catch them on the pier, you can catch them on the beach. It's accessible to anybody. Yeah.
If you can get out here on the white sand,
it's the best
they're
way
out
to do
here.
it. Yeah.
And they're great to eat, but you know what? They're fun to let go too.
This next segment on Bay County Outdoors is brought to you by Howell Tackle.
Yes, my name's Alan Jelks, and I'm with the Jelks Family Foundation, and we're happy to be a host to a very good event that's coming to our town on August 8th, which is a Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. at the Martin Theater, on the Florida Wildlife Corridor Expedition, which is a story of a trip from the Everglades to the Okefenokee Swamp that was made by some Floridians, and it was filmed by Elam Stolfus, who's going to present the film, which is an hour event at the theater. And it should be an exciting time because he's an award-winning filmmaker, and he was here last doing the Apalachicola film at the Martin Theater, and this should be a good sequel to it. Speaking of sequels, he's planning on doing with his group a new corridor expedition across the Panhandle. And so we'll learn more about that event as well, which maybe some of us can participate in helping them make an expedition across the Florida Panhandle. And the purpose of this is, of course, to draw attention to the wonderful areas that have already been saved in Florida and to make a wildlife corridor where black bears and larger animals can actually share gene pools across a large period of area rather than being locked into fragmented areas where gene pools get lost. We have one of the most biodiverse areas here in the Panhandle, and it's really important that folks recognize this treasure that we have and be good stewards of it. And as part of that process, he's going to show us some of the things that we have in the main part of Florida going north to south, and talk about what we have going east to west in Florida. And this is all very important because ecotourism is what drives our economy, and obviously we're a very tourism-driven area here, and ecotourism is a big part of that. And this event will also have a fellow coming from Tallahassee, Will Abinger, who will speak to us about the Amendment 1 that's going to be on the election coming up that we all need to educate ourselves on, and we'll learn why we should vote yes for that amendment and what it'll do to preserve special spots in Florida so that in the future there'll be areas like this for even future generations to enjoy. The tickets, like I said, fortunately are free if you'll either call the number that's on the poster that'll be shown or use the website there. They can get you 2 tickets or more reserved for this event, and it won't cost you anything. And it'll be in air conditioned, which is good on August 8th. And it should be a good show for children and grandchildren as well as for adults. And so we welcome everybody to come out and enjoy this event and take advantage of the special occasion, and you'll learn more about this filmmaker and the Amendment 1 process. We also will have a speaker from the Defenders of Wildlife who's going to be here to speak about the Panhandle program that they are going to be involved in to help protect some of these special places. And so, like I said, if you'll either call 784-0809 extension 1 or register at www.floridawildlife.eventbrite.com, you can be able to get your tickets reserved for this special event. And we hope to see all of you there.
Hey, I'm Justin Leet with Panama City Inshore. We had a great show me and Jamie did last week. Had a really cool tarpon show. If you missed it, go to BayCountyOutdoors.com and check out the video.
Oh, he's right here on me, right here on me. What the? There, we got him. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Hold on, he's coming back, coming back. He's fine, that's just blood coming out of his gills. Oh shoot, onto the anchor.
Just going to help you?
There we go. Put a little water over her gills. Release her nice and healthy.
Beautiful fish. What do you think that weighs?
It's probably right at 100.
Yeah.
I'd say 90 to 100 pounds. Really thick across her back. I bet she's almost a foot wide across her back. Like a big old snook. She's holding on to my thumb. All right, girl.
There she goes. Good job, man. Congrats.
Nice. Let's go get another one.
Right.
Not for me, though. I'm done. Hey, I'm Justin Leet with Panama City Inshore, and this is your Bay County Outdoors Fishing Report. Snapper season's wrapped up. It's been a great weather snapper season. But now that that's over with, we have a lot of other things coming up. Starting August 1st, amberjacks will open back up. The groupers are already open now and will be open through the fall. In the bays, the redfish and trout are on the flats. You need to fish really, really early morning. The topwater is great. The other secret of the late summer flats fishing is after an afternoon thunderstorm. If we get a nice little storm in the afternoon and then you got a couple hours of daylight behind it, it's a great time to hit the flats. The water will cool off on those flats and the fishing will be good. For your latest fishing reports, go to BayCountyOutdoors.com and don't forget to like us on Facebook.